Here are my 4 key takeaways from the ACCA Strategic Business Leader Pre-Seen Information for the September 2024 exam. My name is James, welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you get access to all of my videos. And if you'd like access as well to my exclusive SBL notes we'll be going through in this video, just click the link in the description below and you can download them to your PC from there. In order to actually pass your SBL exam, I'd highly recommend that you actually do some mock papers 2 times and get them marked. And for that, I'm delighted to say I'm associated and affiliated with Astranti. You can see they actually offer a free pre-seen analysis pack along with mock papers and other packs on top of that. The links are down below in the comments. And as always, for transparency on the channel, if you were to purchase anything through those links, I'd be entitled to a small commission which goes to actually supporting the YouTube channel. As always, a massive thank you for all your support, subscribing, liking, commenting. Love to hear it. And I hope I've got to stop saying hope. The tips in this video, the 4 key takeaways, are definitely going to help you out, because tip number 1 is how Bago is run and the industry itself, where they operate. So short and sweet, to the point, Bago, in my opinion, are actually doing quite well in this. They are the 2nd largest organisation working in Beeland, the country. Don't get those mixed up. Zenby, you can see at the bottom of your screen, is the main market leader. But in terms of what Bago are actually doing well, you can see on the market share on the left-hand side, Zenby's market share is dropping off year on year, whereas Bago's is actually increasing. And in terms of the market itself for in Beeland, the user growth is going up, as you can see on the graph. Possibly it may be tailing off, but we'll see if that gets pulled on you on the unseen information on the exam day. 25% of people within Beeland are active users. And I'll just bring it up to the top bit here where my mouse is. Customers registered with TNCs in Beeland has doubled in the last 8 years. So it's looking pretty fantastic for them on there. They're in a really good sector. They actually only operate in Beeland. That is Bago on there. They only operate in Beeland. These are the services that Bago actually currently offer. 72% is from ride hailing, which is, as you know, it's sort of shouting down a taxi, but they do it via an app. There are opportunities for Bago. They only have 5% business services. They've not gone into the service customer rental sector yet. The micro-mobility is the sort of Boris bikes on there that, again, you can use through their app. And they've got real capacity to grow that further. So there is major opportunity for them, along with other areas such as like Uber have done. This is what this case study is based on. They went from Uber to Uber Eats on there. Another sort of segment of their revenue streams that Bago could benefit from. Other final areas you should be looking at are in terms of their KPIs. This again just gives you a nice overview. If you've got the exam tomorrow, this will help you. The revenue has been increasingly going up, and it could be given to you on the exam day that they are a £1 billion or $1 billion organisation in 2024. So that's 1,000 million. Active users and customers is increasing year on year. Rides completed, increasing year on year. And in terms of their net promoter score, the final one at the bottom, really interesting point here as it's measured as a KPI. This is all about customer satisfaction, and the higher the better from a loyalty perspective. Look, from 2002 to 2003, the industry average went down, but Bago actually went up on there. It's gone up from 37 to 38, whereas the industry average has gone from 37 down to 36. Again, it may not sound like a major point, but from Bago's point of view, the way that they're running the organisation, there are a lot of positives to be taken from this. And as a result, they could even become, and it may be a strategic thing you may want to link into with their mission, their vision, their values. I've put them on there about what they provide to the community, accessibility and sustainable transport. They could become the market leader in Beeland, as you can see from the market share, which has been going down, down, down. If we just come back up to the page on here. So yeah, it's just sort of, we may have it. It depends what's going on. But the last final thing for your notes in the first paragraph in the introduction, the measurement for Bago to be the second largest TNC, transport network company in Beeland, is based on revenue and customer numbers. So just be careful on the exam day in case any of those two variables change, because they love to throw it in the SBL exam, different factors like maybe a social media link or a newspaper article, anything on those lines that could disrupt it and the Beeland market itself, because it's only a positive on there that they operate in 250 cities, customer numbers are going up on there. So that is tip number 1 for our key takeaway: how Bago is being run very positively on there, and the industry itself. Tip number 2, we've got Bago is doing well, but some areas are of concern. And this is what is going to link into your professional skills marks in the exam: commercial acumen, communication, and analysis. So where is my first area of concern? That is where my mouse is right now. It's that one sentence out of all the pre-seen information. Currently, the local authority of each city sets its own criteria, allowing operating licenses for TNCs and their drivers. And then what I'm getting at there is, it's all going rosy-nosy now, it looks fantastic, but they are just one decision away from local authorities in each of the 250 cities that they operate. They could just fall like dominoes on there, and it would have a massive impact on their organisations. That is the first one to be careful of in case they pull it out on your exam day. The next thing, I'll put my mouse on it now on the left hand side, is that other line in terms of the market share. So we know, and the examiners love to see figures used, 85% we're told of the market is the build up between Zenbi and Bago. So I've got it down as about 55% Zenbi, 30% Bago, meaning it's about 15% for the other market share companies. But you can see year on year, they're just getting higher and higher and higher. And the areas I think that they're actually tapping into are the business services and the service customer rentals, which you can see on the right hand side. Bago currently has no customer rental income and only 5% business services. So again, from a competition point of view, there are new entrants coming into the market, and there's nothing stopping a multinational competitor. Bear in mind that Zenbi is a multinational organisation. Bago just operates in Beeland. You have to be aware of it. It is a possible threat and could be linked to a SWOT analysis on there. Lots to talk about, as you can imagine, for it. Another area which I picked up on going through why there are some areas for concern is where my mouse is now. This links into the pestle theory, lawsuit risks, and you can see here there have been actual sharing of customer and driver account information. Such conduct has exposed TNCs to several high-profile law cases on there. So this is actually not having sufficient measures in place, and that could be leading to fines and potential prosecutions on there. Again, it's looking okay, so far so good, but the reason why that sort of gave me the chill as to why would they write that in there, it's because if you look at the regulation paragraph on the left-hand side now, there are currently no overall standards to which all TNCs in Beeland, so that is Bago, should adhere to in terms of operational requirements, technology, data security, driver status, and environmental impact expectations. In other words, they don't have any overall standards that they should be meeting. It's up to the company on there. So again, just to be aware of, something could come up on there, along with the KPIs, which we touched on coming down here, that the driver satisfaction for Bago has been dropping off year on year. So it was about 72, it's now down to about 63. It's still over 60%, but again, an area for concern of things that could potentially go wrong from a trade union perspective on there, or if the drivers have some sort of bodies as well to go with it. So that is takeaway number 2. Bago is doing well on there, but there are some areas of concern that you need to be aware of going through the pre-seen materials. Tip area number 3 now. Technology, risk, environmental factors, not to underestimate. Let me just take you through it on here. So we'll go to the technology bits on the side. This is where it could link into things like a pestle analysis, going through and applying the theory. You've got softwares on there, customer data, and this is where the apps that they're using for this business has the card details, name, age, bank details, where they live. The GPS knows where they live and where they go to work. So what if there was a breach? What if the systems actually went down on there? They use a third party for their cloud-based systems. What if they were infiltrated? All these sort of different technology factors for you to be aware of and just to be thinking on your toes if it came up in the real exam. This is also factored into the risk register, where again we've got the technology infrastructure, but it links into other areas like industry regulation, competition, reputation, brand and culture. And this overlaps with the people side and the financial side on there. So the taxi drivers and the customers involved in sort of illegal and negligent operations on there. Competition-wise, that could be linking into the economic factors with new entrants coming into the actual market itself. Again, do not underestimate it. Could be linking into a PESTEL or SWOT analysis or Porter's 5 forces question. And overall, the bottom line is, if there were problems with those licenses and regulations, you've got to be considering the ACCA Code of Ethics, integrity factors, objectivity, and also the risk of impacting the profitability if those licenses were taken away. So again, do not underestimate it. The technology, risk, and environmental factors that also fall into the mission, vision, and values, how Bago is being operated, where they could also throw in, just to add, that we have very little on the senior leadership team and Bago staff. We do have on there, as a key takeaway linking into these areas, that these are the decision makers. On the senior leadership structure, they have enough non-executive directors to match the number of senior leadership team. The non-executive chair doesn't count on there, so we've got 6 for 6. But what happens if there was a restructure, and what happens if things go wrong? Who is responsible? And you need to be able to pick out that, say for example, if it was an ethical issue involving the drivers and trade unions, that would be accountable to the chief people officer to actually provide some operational and strategic advice to the Bago team as to what they should be doing about it. But that is tip number 3, technology, risks, environmental factors, and who is accountable for it on there. And last but not least, my tip and takeaway number 4 on here are James's exam hunches and what got James thinking on here when he read it through for the first time. What did I go through? I go, hang on a second, what's going on here? Well, first of all, on your SBL exam, they have to test you on ethics. It is in there. It will be in there. Integrity, objectivity. But the thing that when I went through this, it comes under point 4 for the website extracts under values. Let me just read it through to you. So this is from Bago. Our ethical code of conduct ensures that we maintain our focus on the actual operating to our highest ethical and professional standards on there. That is, our focus is on the safety of our customers, drivers, and communities. And I went to myself, hang on a second, I've not seen an ethical code of conduct on here that Bago have and set out. So again, first thing I'd be noting, if it came, well, when it's on the exam day, have they provided it in another extract? Is it included within a requirement? And if it isn't, then actually state it for your professional skepticism marks to say, well, where is this ethical code of conduct? As long as it links back to the requirement, and you could refer to ACCA's code of ethics on there, refer to and include those codes: integrity, objectivity, professional behaviour, professional competence and due care, and confidentiality. The SBL marker is only going to be pleased that you've taken the scenario, applied it to the given requirement when ethics comes up, and then gone into enough analysis and detail for it. But yeah, they mention it, the ethics code of conduct, but it wasn't actually included on there. The next area, which I go, that's interesting, I always look for the things that are going wrong. And one of the areas is the driver satisfaction we touched on. So it's going down year on year. It's still above 60% on there, so they're still satisfied. But the thing that got me really thinking is, if you look at this point here where my mouse is on the right hand side, at the end of each ride, drivers and customers must rate their ride. So if a rating is submitted below 80% satisfaction, which the drivers have been, they're prompted to provide more details. And I go, it's been below 80% for the last 5 years. Where are these other details going to? Who, in terms of the board of directors, should be responsible in terms of the people side, chief people officer, or maybe even the operational side of it as well? Where is that information going? Where is that feedback being actually implemented, and we can actually see where the value could be increased for our customers? That links to Porter's value chain in terms of one of the other potential theories. Whew, I know, it's just one little sentence thing that overlaps on there, with the last thing being my sort of hunch and areas that you go, hang on a second, that's a bit interesting, is the gaps in revenues that Bago are not actually taking advantage of, and the exposure they currently have in terms of their current revenue streams. So the revenue streams itself, you'll be able to see up here from the services, and the ones I'm getting at are the service customer rentals, which is basically renting cars on there, a more premium service. They're not actually having any revenue income from that. And the business services is only at 5%. This is where, if we come down here, they've got a lot of exposure in terms of ride hailing on there. So people tap on the app, say this is where they want to go. But there's a lot of exposure, and then they have so much more opportunity in terms of those other sector areas that the other market share competitors are taking advantage of. They are growing somehow. As you can see here, they're going up year on year on year. And obviously, I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that, but the business services, the service customer rentals, and also the latest developments in terms of food delivery, driverless and electronic vehicles are other areas that I go, the other competitors are doing something right. It's one of these variables, and it could come up on your exam day on there. So that is my takeaway number 4. Exam hunches and what got James sort of thinking to help you out, along with the other tips that we've talked about in today's video. Well guys, if you would like access to those exclusive SBL notes so you can go through them in your own time, click the link in the description. You can download them from there, along with checking out Astranti's courses and that free syllabus guide. Would highly recommend. I've also put a few more SBL videos I've got on the channel up above. If you click one of those, I'll see you on the other side, so make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.